Hey, you all. Carpetbagger here, coming to you live from the West. More specifically, we're in Los Angeles, California, and even more specifically than that, we are here at Exposition Park. Now, this was originally a fairground for agricultural fairs in the Los Angeles area, but it is expanded. There's all sorts of things over here now. There's a stadium over there. There's multiple museums here behind me. There's lots of construction. You can see them constructing something right there. They're building the new George Lucas Museum somewhere over there. There is a lot happening here, but there's several museums I wanted to check out, invoking the EM rule, if you will. So we'll just wander around and see what we can find here. Please follow me. You see over here we just have a random Air Force spy plane. Okay, I think we're gonna cut down this way, cut through the Southern California Ecosystem Garden. Looks like the Science Center and the Natural History Museum are both this way. Oh, and look at this, we get to walk underneath the spy plane here. It is the year of planes, trains, and automobiles here in 2025, so only fitting that we walk underneath a plane. Oh no, looks like the area has been invaded by field trips. Over here is the Lucas Museum of Narrative Arts. And you can just see how amazing that building is. It's a green building, it's got grass on the top, and just a spectacular design to it. Very, very interested to check this out when it opens up. Not sure when it opens up, not sure exactly what's going to be in there. They said it's narrative arts, so I would think things like movies and stuff like that. Maybe, Lucas created Star Wars, maybe a little bit of Star Wars stuff in there. But yeah, this should be cool. Over here we have the mighty T-Rex squaring off with his perpetual victim, the Triceratops, in front of the Los Angeles County Natural History Museum. So let's head inside the Natural History Museum. Look at this. We come in to a massive whale skeleton. Oh, this is super cool. We see the same scene we saw outside, but in bone form. That T-Rex taking on the poor Triceratops. Because wherever there are Triceratops, there's going to be a T-Rex eating them. And we will start out with the North American Mammal Hall. Some of the classic taxidermy displays in here. Oh yeah, when I think of a natural history museum, this is what I think of. The taxidermy tableaus, the giant brown bears. Some seals lounging on the shore. Yesterday we were at the LA Zoo. We saw some of these animals in their living mortal form. But now we can see them in their preserved form. And it's really cool seeing the museum, seeing the animals move around, interact, and just display how they live. But it's also interesting here in the museum because at the zoo, sometimes the animals hide, sometimes the animals show you their back to you, but here in the museum, they're always posed perfectly. I think one of my favorite taxidermy animals is the moose. Something about the taxidermied moose just always looks so majestic. I like living moose too. Like this scene here, the mountain lion lounging there while the cubs play with the mother's tail. She actually looks fairly annoyed by this. And just look at the size of the sea lion, because he is the king of the sea lions. Apparently porcupines climb trees. Apparently I don't know enough about porcupines. Yeah, the end of the hallway, this amazing buffalo display. It's our muskox And I never knew muskox. I guess I never realized muskox was one word. I thought it was musk space ox, like a big musky ox, but it's a muskox. See Bambi and his friends hanging out here in the forest. I must say, here at the LA Natural History Museum, they have all these calm, gentle tableaus. I remember at the Milwaukee Public Museum, in almost every tableau there was some sort of animal trying to kill another animal. Yeah, but here there's just like nice scenes with babies. Oh, I spoke too soon. It's like bagged him a rabbit. But yeah, most of these scenes are pretty calm, gentle scenes. You have babies drinking milk from their mother. If this was the Milwaukee Public Museum, there would be an elephant stomping them all to death. There's some peccaries there. You see a little baby peccary. A lot of little babies here in the North American Mammal Hall. So I was talking about how LA used to be an ocean. Now it's just close to the ocean. This is a seal skeleton that was found on top of a hill in the nearby area. Now look at this. This whale skull here was found all the way in here. That's pretty far from the Pacific Ocean. Just imagine if you just found a whale skull in your backyard. Here is a prehistoric skull of a walrus relative. You can see their teeth. Their teeth got much bigger over time. Here is Becoming Los Angeles. I guess the history of the city of Los Angeles. The first Angelinos, of course, were the indigenous people to the area. There is a native storage basket. They created this big nest here to store food in. This is a crucifix from 1774 carried by a Spanish soldier as part of the first Spanish expedition to California. So some of the first Spanish to come to California. And look at this, above the crucifix you could see like the path radiates out through the exhibit. There's items from the Spanish missionaries whose goal it was to convert the Native Americans to Christianity. Over here we have a mighty grizzly bear. Of course, the grizzly bear is on the California state flag. And even though sadly the grizzly bear itself is now extinct within the borders of California, there's no wild grizzlies left. Talk about Mexican independence here. Of course, California was part of Mexico at the time, and Mexico would win its independence from Spain. See, this is a well-worn saddle here, worn by early Californian cowboys. And here's one of those cows that the cowboys would have wrangled. And of course, every good Western museum has an exhibit on brands, where they would brand the cattle to know that it was theirs because they were free roaming at the time. This is before fences were popular. This is the United States and Mexican War of 1846 to 48 was ended on this table, where a peace treaty was signed by the two countries. So this is interesting. The gold rush happened where people fled to Northern California looking for gold. And this actually affected Southern California because they had to produce more cattle to feed the people rushing to Northern California. And apparently this increase was bad on the environment, depleted the soil, caused erosion. So it says in 1861, a severe winter had 45 days of heavy rain, followed by 3 years of drought, and then swarms of locusts. Yeah, I guess things got pretty biblical here in Southern California. Okay, more train stuff. Talks about the arrival of the Southern Pacific Railroad that connected Los Angeles to the rest of the country. Here is a kerosene headlight from a locomotive. It talks about murder here. It says in 1871 there was actually a brutal attack on the Chinese population, ending in 17 people being killed by mob violence. That's horrible. Here we get into California tourism, and apparently they had some ostrich-based tourism. See the ostrich here, says they exotic animal farms, roadside zoos drew a lot of people to Southern California. There's a souvenir ostrich egg there given out by Costin's Ostrich Farm. Huh. There's some postcards here. Come see some alligators, elephants, maybe even ride an ostrich while you're visiting Los Angeles. This is a souvenir bottle of water. This is from the opening of the Los Angeles Aqueduct in 1913. There's still water in there. Talks about the citrus industry here in Southern California. This is a ladder that would be used to pick oranges. This is a tourist automobile, a very early automobile that was actually handcrafted here in Los Angeles. This is a map of Los Angeles circa 1935. This map was actually built back then during the Great Depression. This is Los Angeles Union Station. This is where we arrived in town on the Southwest Chief. Of course, you can't talk about Los Angeles without talking about the film industry. This is a French camera from 1910. And I didn't know this. Apparently, France used to be the filmmaking capital of the world, but actually the film industry in France was massively hurt by World War II when they were taken over by Germany. So Hollywood kind of picked up from there and became the center of filming in the world. Now this is interesting. This is like a carriage or an automobile that they could film scenes in. This is from the 1930s. So they would have the actors sit there, they would have a conversation, and then they'd be playing a projection in the back, making it look like they were on an old dirt road. Oh wow, this is wild. This is a Disney animation stand from the 1930s, and it includes handwritten notes by Walt Disney. It says there, it says, "Be sure to shoot 20 blank frames at the end of each test!" Exclamation mark. Signed, Walt. Talks about Japanese internment during World War II. We visited Travel Town yesterday here in Los Angeles. It was actually used as a internment camp. Here's suitcases that were carried by those individuals who were unfortunately forced to stay in those camps. See this work of art here. Where's all the different cultural items found in the people of Los Angeles. Of course, very diverse city. A lot of people from different backgrounds, and all little pieces here on the altar that come from people of different faiths, different cultures. I see the Kwanzaa candle there. Yeah, very interesting. We entered this rotunda here. Pretty amazing. You either go into the Age of Mammals or the Dinosaur Hall. I guess we'll do Dinosaur Hall first. You know, we'll go chronologically. And here are those crazy dinosaur bones. Another T-Rex here. And of course, T-Rex, he likes to munch on Triceratops. But the Allosaurus, he likes to munch on Stegosauruses. Do 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 do. You know, everyone always makes fun of the T-Rex's arms, but the Carnotaurus's arms are even sillier looking. How come no one ever makes fun of the Carnotaurus's arms? You see the Plesiosaur, aka the Loch Ness Monster, and this big long sauropod here. Oh, and look at these little hairy creepers down here. Supposed to be more dinosaurs up these stairs. Oh yeah, up here we can get a clearer view of these horrifying swimming dinosaurs. This is Augustenephalus. He is the official state dinosaur of California. Does North Carolina have a state dinosaur? Probably not. So apparently you can count the rings of dinosaur bones, much like you count the rings of a tree to see how old a tree is. So let's see. This size, the animal was 17 years old. Oh, 14, 2. This one doesn't open. From here we can go across the rotunda into the prehistoric mammals exhibit. Oh, hey there, Paleoparsidoxics. See these dangling mammal skeletons. And here's a prehistoric North American rhinoceros. Looks like their horns hadn't quite grown in all the way. See a giant ground sloth there. Coming down the stairs are more of these crazed prehistoric mammals. Then we have some modern taxidermied animals here to show what the ancient mammals have evolved into. Look at this whale here with a really teeny tiny mouth. Apparently this is a living species of whale, but it says they're extremely rare. It's a pygmy sperm whale. Well, that's an awfully adorable pose for a polar bear. Well, watch out. There's a super spooky skeleton. Oh, look at these super cool elevators here. I think we want to go up. Oh, here we go. Open by itself.
Good enough here?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the other half of the North American Mammal Hall here on the upstairs. I really do love these displays. Chaos reigns. I was complaining about not enough conflict in these tableaus. Here you see a couple of gray foxes squaring off against each other. So you see the scene here. It actually explains what's going on in the scene. Female brown bear playfully nudges a male, a reminder that it's mating season. He is busy tearing apart a decaying log searching for ants. Okay, so he's worried about ants. She's more worried about making babies. In the ultimate showdown, Martin versus Mouse. You see how nice and peaceful most of these displays are? Looks like these guys should be drinking Coca-Cola. Well, here's our Los Angeles opossum. Wonder if all his friends back home in the South tell him that he's gone Hollywood. The bighorn sheep kissing its baby. The ultimate showdown, Fisher versus squirrel. In my head, I can just hear the magnificent and beautiful song is being sung by these seals. Oh no, this is horrible. This is supposed to be a patio in Los Angeles. You can actually see the city skyline over the hill there. But look what's occurring on the patio. This poor innocent house cat is being devoured by a coyote. Boo! All these pigs are running away because there is a jaguar in the bushes. And here's a wolverine. Yes, the superhero is named after a small skunk-like creature. The description here says that this is a broadleaf forest in Mannheim, Pennsylvania. That's very specific. I am a sucker for a good beaver seed. You can see the beavers here building their dam. And somewhere, my mother is cursing the heavens. Some muskrats. Every time I see muskrats, it reminds me of the time as a child when I walked into my grandpa's basement and there was like 100 dead muskrats on the ground that he had caught. Some pronghorns. I saw some of these at the zoo yesterday. We saw that adorable polar bear pose downstairs. This one is much more terrifying. You can see this polar bear has worn some of his fur away over the years, I guess from being hugged by endless children over the years. We're entering the bird hall here, and look what we got. This pelican teacher.
Look, Mark, no teeth.
Now, a friend of mine told me that this actually used to be a animatronic. He actually used to move Professor Percy Pelican here.
Yes, we birds have been pretty successful in getting around the world. In fact, we've adapted to this planet so well.
I wish I could have seen him in all his glory. He's amazing.
Species of all of us all over the world. If anyone asks, just tell them I've gone fishing.
Professor Percy Pelican got me all excited about seeing the bird hall here. There is a non-animatronic pelican, and apparently these birds here won awards. He won the gold medal for longest beak. The penguin there won the award for the deepest diver. The longest tail goes to this phoenix fowl here. And I don't know, what did this flamingo win this award for? I don't see a title. Oh, this is really cool, kind of like an old Victorian style display. The owls, the different types of owls. Oh yeah, look at the colorful birds there, the colorful blue of that macaw. Some puffins. Some of the larger birds in here. You see that big cassowary there. Saw one of those yesterday at the zoo. The face of this Andean condor. Wow, and this is called a secretary bird. I don't know, does it take your phone calls for you? And there is a massive bald eagle. I've noticed something. You see more bald eagles in the wild now. When I was a kid, I'd never seen one. So they actually seem to have come back from the brink of extinction. Hopefully they keep reproducing. And we see more and more bald eagles in the wild. There's the golden eagle and the king vulture. Oh, he is really cool looking. Okay, this seems interesting. This is a temporary exhibit, reframing dioramas. Talks about the changing world of museum dioramas, how they present animals differently. And I'm just fascinated with museums, so I love kind of the behind-the-scene peeks that we get here. So over here, kind of the traditional diorama, the ones we've been seeing in the Hall of Mammals. And it says here these are the oldest exhibits that are still on display at the museum. So this is the vault here, where they keep specimens off exhibit, where they're preserved in jars of fun or boxes, or even you can even put butterflies in envelopes. So you have the classic scenes here, like these silly monkeys, and then you have this, which is a more artistic interpretation. It says this is meant to not just show the animals, but represent their essence in the spirit realm. So an interesting concept. A little different from your classic look at the animals, but I like this too. And this scene has a very rare giant armadillo, but this scene, another more modernized scene, they use projection and CGI to add in the river. You can actually see the moving river. This is a giant pangolin. It says that this is one of the very few giant pangolins that are actually taxidermied in a museum. So we'll contrast that with another new artistic animal display. I'm really interested. I love the classic ones. It's really fascinating too how they use the moody lighting. There's like crystals exposed, or some light emanating from the crystals. Interesting. So in this tent, they kind of talk about the history of these wildlife displays, how they previously would specifically go out and hunt for the animals, which they no longer do. You can see this is a gorilla face mask used to help make the taxidermy. Yeah, here's a special permit to hunt animals for the means of taxidermy and preservation. This was signed in 1960. It says this actual permit, you saw the muskox earlier, this permit was used to hunt and kill those muskox to put in the display. So this is actually fascinating here. It says that this aardvark was actually made into an animatronic. It said the museum experimented with putting animatronics inside of the animals so that they could move on display. But it says they were too hard to maintain, and in 2005 they went back to just being static figures. I have never seen that in a museum where they make taxidermy animatronics. That's crazy. Robotic aardvark. So it says this used to be the chimpanzee display, and they said they've moved the chimpanzees to another diorama, so no more chimpanzees. This is really cool. There's the honey badger display. You can see him actually eating honey there, but it shows the maquette, the mock version of the display here, created before the display was put into place. That's really cool, displayed right alongside with it. The items that go into making a diorama. Of course, you have the animal parts, the forms, but also you have to make your own rocks and leaves. You have to paint a mural in the background. This is kind of funny. It's pointing something out that I'm just now realizing in my head, but it's absolutely true. It says that dioramas of animals contain unnatural family groups. So often you look at a diorama, you're like, okay, that's mama kangaroo, that's daddy kangaroo, and there's baby kangaroo. But in reality, the vast majority of animals do not live in nuclear families like humans do. It's just something that the artist created, I guess, to help people relate to the animals. And that'll do, Jackal. That'll do. So the exhibit we just saw on the evolution of museum dioramas is actually originally the upper half of the Hall of African Mammals. So we've come downstairs and we can see the rest. And here's the chimps. We saw the chimp display upstairs that had no chimps in it. This is the new diorama that they moved the chimps to. In the Western gorilla here, we actually saw the death mask of this gorilla upstairs that they used to make the taxidermy. And I love how they have this at the end of the hall. You can actually see this when you first walk in, but you have to walk all the way down to the end of the hall. This amazing scene here with the elephants, giraffes. You have water buffalo. Yeah, so just an amazing African scene here. Okay, finally we're getting a little gnarly here, where we see these hyenas devouring this rotten corpse. See the pride of lions there. The male in the background with all his females. And look what they have over here. This is amazing. There's the coelacanth. Of course, most museums have a replica coelacanth. They were a fish that was thought to have been extinct for millions and millions of years, and they caught one alive off the coast of South Africa, and they actually have one here, a real coelacanth. So it's very, very rare to see a real one. You can see it preserved in fluid there. Yeah, that is unbelievable. There's also, in the same vat here, we have the megamouth shark, another incredibly rare ocean creature. Oh, wow. That is insane to be able to actually see that animal up close and personal. Wow. You can actually smell the fluid, or embalming fluid, whatever this is they're floating in. It has an aroma. Oh, and here's an oarfish preserved in liquid. Oh, wow. That's crazy. It's a great natural history museum here in Los Angeles. You know, I loved the old taxidermy displays, but I also loved how, you know, they kind of talked about the evolution, talked about, you know, the future, possible future of dioramas. Just really fascinates me as being a big fan of just museums in general. Also, you know, it wasn't just the Natural History Museum that actually talked about the history of, you know, the civilization here in Los Angeles. But I think we do have enough time to check out a second museum of the day. This is the United Airlines field here. What do they play on a field? Probably baseball. They play baseball out here. Maybe a little bit of football sometimes. I don't know. So yeah, just right next door to the Natural History Museum is a whole nother museum. This is the California Science Center. That was about $18 to get into the Natural History Museum, but the Science Center here is actually 100% free, which is pretty crazy. Got some jets there up above us, and I guess all the exhibits are upstairs. Some more aircraft up here, the Wright Brothers glider. This is a monocoop here, and then some sort of giant NASA boomerang. Yes, first up we'll head here into the world of life. Well, look here, inviting us to the museum is an egg being swarmed by thousands of blue sperm. There's a replica of a corpse flower known for smelling like a corpse. Talks about puberty here. Of course, when you hit puberty, you start needing to use deodorant, start needing to shave, you start wearing these cool shades here, and some people start to menstruate. Talk about safe sex here. There's a home HIV test. There's various themed condoms and some other birth control. There's an intrauterine device there, some birth control pills. There's a pregnancy test. So here we can enter a giant womb. Okay, and they have the babies on display here, showing the different developmental stages. And apparently Komodo dragons don't need a man. A Komodo dragon can have their own eggs if there's no males present. Apparently if there is males present, they do prefer to make eggs with the male, but not necessary. So over here we have Tess, the 50-foot human body simulator. Where's Tess? Is Tess in here? Oh my gosh. Here is Tess. Tess is amazing. A 50-foot human. You can see her talking there. 50-foot animatronic human. You can see her intestines there. Oh my gosh. Her finger. You can see her finger moving. This is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Oh my gosh. Tess. You can see her feet down here. Yeah, her bones are exposed, her nerves, her muscles. Yeah, she's got her finger. Oh yeah, you can see her finger moving. She moves her one finger and talks.
Fuel when it exercises. When you eat food, which is fuel, it gets stored in your liver and fat tissue. When you're playing and the fuel in your blood begins to drop, then your brain and chemical signals in your blood tell your liver and fat tissue to put more fuel into your blood so you can...
Oh, what's happening? Oh, what's going on? Temperature high? What's happening, Tess? Is she okay? Oh, we got a heartbeat. Is her heart beating down?
I'm not going to explode. I'm starting maintaining homeostasis now.
Okay, she's maintaining homeostasis.
And I can keep up with these
So she's moving her finger.
Your lungs are breathing more, taking in extra oxygen from your
Look at
muscles
that.
to make energy.
The lungs are moving.
beating faster.
Yeah, you're sending more blood to your muscles to deliver the extra oxygen. Look, you're sweating, and that's pulling you
You're
up.
sweating?
And fuel from your liver and fat tissue is bringing your blood fuel level back to normal. Woo! Tess, you had me going.
I wanted to show you that when you exercise, everything in your body, including your heart, brain, lungs, and liver, are...
Oh, look at that. She's raising her arm up. Oh, I think she's turning the light off there.
And be sure to come back.
Yeah, Tess here, truly a national treasure. Here's the air and space section. Some astronaut suits in here. These are replicas of satellites. This section is called a work in progress. Oh, okay. Looks like they are redeveloping this area. Yeah, these are all plans for the new aviation gallery. There's a space shuttle engine there. Then we've got these other space capsules. So it looks like they're working on a new display for the Space Shuttle Endeavour. We actually saw some of that construction when we were coming in. There's a big rocket here. We'll have to come back and see this when it's finished. Next we'll be heading into the ecosystems. Oh. Okay, this is the island zone. See bits and pieces of animals here. There's a Komodo dragon skull. We just learned that they don't need men. Oh, the dodo head. Oh, and there's some sort of gecko. We're now entering the extreme zone during the poles. Oh, I got a snow machine in here, and a polar bear pelt, and this giant sled. And we have an ice wall here. You can see where people have inserted their fingers. I was trying to figure out if this is sanitary or not, but I think the ice, the cold, kills the germs, so it's okay to put your fingers in someone else's ice hole. Oh, snow. It's a snowmaker. Let's warm up over here in the desert. Some desert creatures. This little reptile there, basking in the sun. And the desert waterfall. Oh wait, that waterfall just exploded. It was a little trickle a second ago, and the water just came crashing down. Okay, it's slowing down again. Some sort of heat detecting machine here. Oh, there. Look at me. Why is my face so red? I look horrifying. Well, let's check out the deep sea vents. See all these different monitors here monitoring the ocean vents. I always think this is cool. They have the styrofoam items shrunken by the pressure of the ocean. These are all styrofoam cups that have been shrunken. There's a styrofoam head that's been smushed into a little alien head. Oh, there we go. There we go. That's better. Now here we have the rocky shores. Is there fish in there? Oh yeah, look at a big old fish down there. Touch some of these starfish here. Hey there. See this anemone. Oh, look at that, he grabs onto my fingers. Well, this sounds fun. Let's head into the rot room. I guess they've got these creatures living in a rotten log. There is a artificial rotting pig carcass in here. Seems like this is a prop that would be in a haunted house. It says there's maggots in here. I don't see. I guess they're currently don't have any maggots on display. Oh, but there's something in here. They got dermestid beetles, which devour animals. And they are cleaning these animal bodies here. I don't know what that is. Is that like a monkey being eaten by beetles? And into the kelp forest. So we have the tunnel here. Oh, there's that big fish. Okay, so up there is where we were at the rocky shores. Look at that fish. Oh, there's two of them. Oh yeah. Down here at the bottom of the kelp, got a moray eel. The final zone is the LA zone. And for some reason here in the LA zone, there's a giant paper mache puppet dangling over top everyone. There's a solar race car designed here in Los Angeles, all covered in solar panels. It's called the Solar Eagle. Okay, it says the paper person hanging over the exhibit was created on Earth Day 2009, where they took trash the guests had thrown away here at the Science Center and paper mache'd them into a giant person. This here is the average amount of plastic that a person in California throws away in a year. Yikes. Pretty terrifying. And then here shows us some landfill garbage, and it shows some things that just, never biodegrade, that are stick around forever. Rubber pieces. We got one more floor of the Science Center. So we rise above the aircraft here. This is an exhibit on fire safety here. See Casa del Fuego Apartments. I think that's House of Fire. You can see the 911 address on the apartments. And other mailboxes over here. Oh, there's a fire truck in the mail. Some firefighters. Oh, some birthday candles. That could cause a fire. Looks like weights that you lift. Oh, there's a smoke detector. Then Firestone here has a mailbox full of fireworks. That's dangerous. So I guess we roam the apartment here looking for fire hazards. Oh yeah, you can see the ashtray there smoldering. Entertainment Weekly says catching fire. And you got the burning fireplace. A fireplace can start a fire. I mean, a fireplace basically is already a fire. All right, what else is going on in here? We got this cord on the floor. Is that a fire hazard? Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, that's dangerous. Let's see what sort of dangerous things we can do in the bathroom. Oh my gosh, this this looks like yeah, this is what it looked like when my kids were teenagers. They'd leave the cords in the sink and all that. Super dangerous. It's in the bathtub here. There's a bedroom here. Oh, jeez. That dog actually scared me. Oh, yeah. What's this? Like a burned book? Oh, it says don't burn candles. Can dogs set fires? I don't know. Now I would imagine the kitchen's probably the fieriest place in the house. You got the stove over here. This exhibit is evolving. I think that means that this exhibit is broken. Oh, wait. Turn the... No, I don't think it's working right. There's a pie in the oven there. Oh, is that pie? Oh, yeah, I think it's crisping. Is it going to start on fire? A little smoke rising. Oh, come on, take that pie out of the oven. It's done. Get it out of there. Get it out. Okay, a nicely cooked pie. I was worried it was going to burst into flames. There's the laundry room. It says we can fight a fire here, but I think that may be evolving as well. Here's Goosebumps, the science of fear. We're now entering the Fear Museum. Oh, look at this. The number one fear, the first one they have here, social anxiety. Yeah, this is my fear here. It's the number one thing I'm afraid of. There's the wall of phobias. Aviophobia, fear of flying. I'm not really afraid of flying. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. I think we all feel like we should all have a healthy pyrophobia. Mysophobia, fear of germs. You got to be reasonable about it. Gemfophobia, fear of knees. Well, that's just strange. Fear of crowds, fear of dentists, colorophobia, fear of clowns. You know, you can tell from going to Transworld, the haunted house trade show, that this is a very real thing. Clowns are used as a fear mechanism quite often. Electrophobia is the fear of chickens. Ichmophobia, the fear of needles. I don't like needles. That's one thing I don't like. Orophobia, the fear of gold. Well, you're afraid of becoming rich? See these brains here, a human brain, a cow brain, a dog brain, a chicken brain, a turtle brain, and a teeny tiny mouse brain. And then we looked at their amygdalas down here. The amygdala is the part of the brain that triggers the fear response. Even in a little scared mouse. Mice are always scared, though. There's these different fear chambers here. Fear chamber number one, fear of animals. They're tanks full of scary animals. There's a scorpion right here. I actually can see the scorpion tail right there. It says, have any of the animals crawled into the black box? So I guess they have a tube here so that the scorpion can crawl down here. We got to put our hands in there to feel around for the scorpion. Okay, no scorpion. I didn't feel it. Number two, fear of electric shock. So here we have to let ourselves get shocked. See the electricity crawling up, what they call a Jacob's ladder. So you insert your finger, make sure you're touching the two copper electrodes, press the button, wait for the shock. Okay, so I put my finger in there, and I press the button, and I watch, let her wait for the shock. Oh, jeez! It's a real shock. Why would they do that? It's a museum. Number three, fear of loud noises. Oh, this one's probably just going to be annoying. Okay, so they're going to play a spooky soundtrack, and I got to try to keep a straight face. It was the light that scared me, not the sound. It was the light. Unfortunately, fear of falling is closed for the time being. What did they do in here? Did they like strap you to that and then drop you backwards? Yikes. So this is Mr. Goosebumps here. It shows different responses in his body. Oh, he's scared. Oh, his bladder just got full. The amygdala goes off. panicking. His adrenal gland is pumping. Oh, there's his bladder. His chest is beating. His heart is beating. Steam's coming out of his heart. Oh, he's gonna get some goosebumps. There. Some goosebumps. A close-up look at his goosebumps there. He's sweating. Sweating. Oh, his knees are knocking. Poor Mr. Goosebumps. Oh, he's peeing. That's disgusting. So these are collective fears and moral panics. The idea is that, I guess, when the news starts reporting on something or people start repeating things, then like a national fear breaks out. You talk about the moral outrage of horror comics, of rock and roll, and video games. There, remember this? This was my childhood. There was violent video games. Oh, that's Night Trap. Night Trap there. There's the witch hunts, where again a collective fear of something irrational, and the Summer of the Shark. Oh my gosh, I remember the Summer of the Shark, and I remember, people were panicking about so many people being attacked by sharks. Whole thing was kind of ridiculous because there were still barely any shark attacks, and then people stopped worrying about the shark when September of that year rolled around and the planes hit the building. Talks about the fear of the chupacabra, how the legend spread. That's pretty amazing. And then Halloween candy. Yeah, there's a big push to check your candy, make sure your candy's safe. And there's literally only one incident of poison candy ever recorded, and it turns out it was done by the kids' own parents. Outrage over bicycles, that they're too dangerous. Fear of microwaves. Oh yeah, but they tell you to be careful. Be careful, there's a microwave going in here. And fear of robots. Yeah, I guess all these science fiction novels, when everyone was worked up about how dangerous robots were. They were right, though. They were absolutely right. Yeah, this over here, I guess, is the part where they are remodeling for their new space exhibits. Yeah, and you can see this over here is where they're going to be putting the Space Shuttle Endeavour. It'll be in there, so you can go in the room and see it standing up right there. They also have the California African American Museum over here. We did not have a chance, ran out of time, did not have a chance to check that out today, so we'll have to check that out next time we're in the area. So oddly enough, both the two museums that we saw today, neither one had any press pennies, so it kind of made me sad, but both of them were really great museums here in Exposition Park. A lot going on here at Exposition Park, different museums, two different sports venues it looks like, and then the new George Lucas museum over that way. I think we're definitely gonna have to return here at some point in the near future next time we are in Los Angeles. But I had a great time today, but tonight actually I have to go pick up Annabelle from the airport, coming in late tonight, so I'm probably gonna go back to the hotel, get a little bit of rest before she shows up tonight. I have to go pick her up at LAX. But thank you guys for following along with these ventures. Thank you for watching these videos. If you do like these videos, consider subscribing. I travel around the country. I film roadside attractions, amusement parks, museums, haunted houses, and other fun random stuff. I do so by using trains, planes, and automobiles. It is the year of planes, trains, and automobiles here on the Carpetbagger channel. And if you would like to help keep these planes, trains, and automobiles on the road, sky, and track, not in that order, consider contributing to Patreon, $3 or more. We'll get you a postcard once a month from me to you. Also selling enamel pins in the Etsy shop, as well as press pennies, motel key fobs, and other fun stuff. Also doing personalized messages on Cameo if you're interested in receiving a personalized message from me or sending one to a friend or family member. And all those things help keep this train on the track, this boat in the water, and the Endeavor in the air. Until next time, my friends, this one's in the bag.